Hey guys, my name is Stuart Fitzsimmons, or codename Big Bear if you ever want to find me on Xbox Live. Today we are going to talk about Gears of War 5's tech test. Let's do this. Let's get the obvious out of the way. This game is obviously very, very pretty. I mean, as the last game, Gears of War 4, for instance, was an absolutely gorgeous game. Pretty much since Judgment, the color palette has just improved vastly. The character models are looking insane. The details, the backgrounds, you know, you're looking at all the trees and stuff in the backgrounds of the boot camp level, which is like the very bluish one. Basically, just getting away from those browns and greys, I guess. Yeah, which is really, really nice to see. I mean, if you look at a clip at the beginning of this video, you saw me using some incendiary grenades to take out a few people. Just look at that fire. That fire looked incredible. I mean, as far as I'm concerned in a game, if you want to nail graphics, you get fire and water down, and they got half of it down so far. So this game is looking amazing right now. Okay, so when it comes to sound, Gears of War's been around for a long time. They've had plenty of time to perfect what the world of Sarah sounds like. Those chainsaw lances, for instance, always sound like meaty chainsaw lances. I mean, it kind of puts my heart on edge for playing multiplayer, and I'm not sure where one's coming from, and all of a sudden, I'm just cut in half. It just reminds me of Resident Evil 4 and Dr. Salvador. And obviously, the voice acting is pretty solid. You know, can't really get many complaints, but for his tech test, didn't really hear all that much. There was more of a kind of like a thank you and just general noises and, you know, the usual things you get, you know, get some and all that kind of thing that you do get in these kind of games. Sadly, there wasn't much of it. In the boot camp section, there was actually a little bit of story there. I guess it potentially could have been the very first level of the entire game. We don't know. It was more of a tutorial thing anyway. But you had Baird and Dell conversing quite a lot, and solid. You know, you can't really complain about it. It was all good acting. Those characters have been worked on for a little while now, so yeah, can't really do anything about that. But one thing I will say about the tech test is the fact there was no main theme. No main theme at all. At least not what I could hear. Nothing going back on my footage that I could hear either. So that makes me think there might be a new one on the way. I'm hoping to go back to more Gears of War 2 style theme, you know, the boom, 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 that kind of thing, instead of what we had in Gears 4. But I understand if they go kind of more down that route, it makes more sense. You know, the Collision is a new branch of what Gears of War used to be, and they're trying to, you know, differentiate themselves from the epic versions of the games, as well as bringing something new with a whole new character thing. But yeah, one of those. The sound is pretty quality. Let's put it that way. We have new executions, new styles of executions. Each weapon seems to have more than one. On the screen right now, you can actually see a different version of the pistol execution. So instead of punching him in the face, he's throttling him instead. It's the only one I can really show you as an example of different executions, purely because the tech test didn't allow anything else to be shown, which is fair. But we have new emotes, spotter icons, so range from Ace of Spades through to Heart Clubs, and I believe a Gears of War 4 symbol as well, if you've unlocked that in Gears of War 4 at the moment. But the emotes seem to be something I can't quite work out how to use, or I couldn't quite work out how to use. But it looks like if you become MVP, you can kind of put a thumbs up, or you can say thank you, or you can have a little victory lap. Not entirely sure there. Ooh. Hopefully it'll become clear with Gears 5. So there are new weapons. So there is actually a new version of a Lancer. This is really cool. Sadly I got no footage to show you apart from its execution, which I'll flash up now. But it basically is a new version of a Lancer. Instead of having a bayonet of any kind, it has a kind of a cluster missile launcher. It's really cool. You hold down right bumper to aim, fire it, it hits the dude and just explodes in a shower of explosions, which is pretty amazing. Oh, that actually reminds me. You don't press B to use your secondary weapon anymore. It's with your lancers. Yeah, I wanted to actually retro lance somebody by holding B and running some, but instead I just punched the air and got shot dead by a shotgun. It was was kind of ridiculous. But yeah, little changes here and there. But back to the weapons. As I said, our new ones. For instance, we have this new mace-like weapon, which is very, very cool. It kind of feels a bit OP, like the Hollow Sword in Halo, I suppose. But there is the whole distance thing that you have here. You can't really. It's not very long range. It's only very short. But if you get hit with that thing, believe me, you're going down. It's brutal. It's so good. I mean, just check the execution out. It's just throws him miles. But it's really, really good. But these new weapons, new kind of things they're bringing to it is really cool.
I am in awe. You are everything I intended you to be.
So Escalation's changed quite a bit. In Gears of War 4, it was just pick your character, go kill as many people as possibly you can, and your team, first one to reach the target score, wins. And does seem to drag along quite a bit. But the game seems to have changed up a couple of things. One major thing in Escalation is the fact you can choose your character anytime you want. As soon as you die, you can just change your character. You can have different weapons throughout the entire thing. So I know you get that with pressing Y on a D-pad and changing weapons that way. But this is kind of more specific. It's kind of like different characters have different style of weapons. So for instance, I mostly picked JD in this one, and he had a Lancer. I just wanted to use Lancer because I wanted to try the new weapons so I can get executions and get more of these skull things that you've seen pop up on the screen. Basically, you get these skulls, you spend those skulls in the match. They do not last longer than one match as far as I can tell, but Escalation is only one round, so it's one of those. But essentially, say you get 6 skulls. You press Y in the middle of your game whilst you're playing. You get a D-pad option to pick top, left, or right. A lot of them have other characters have their own selections. They can have a bolt-up pistol, they can have grenades, or they can have like a rifle or a shotgun, something like that. JD has question marks all the way through. Now the reason I picked JD is because of those question marks. I wanted to see some new weapons. That's how I came across that Lancer I mentioned earlier on in the video, and how I came across the mace and things like that as well. So I got to really try a few things out that way. It was definitely something that I will probably won't go towards during the main game when it actually comes out. But you never know. It might change. It might change my mind. But Escalation just seems to be a lot faster paced because of one of these reasons, but also as well, you just seem to die so much quicker in this game. And that's down to the fact that you can get headshots just so much easier. I don't know, if you play Gears of War 4, you use a Lancer and you're shooting somebody, and it seems like you can fire an entire clip into someone's face and the head won't explode. Well, now, you get one bullet into the head and it seems to... look, I can't tell you how much I've seen this. It's ridiculous. A Lancer taking the head off. Anyway. So it's one of those. I seem to be dying a lot easier. But that's a good thing. It just felt way faster paced. So yeah, especially when I went back to get some rewards from Gears 4 for Gears 5, I played Escalation and it just felt really slow in comparison. This game seems to have a speed upgrade, which is pretty amazing. I mean, the game always was pretty fast paced as far as I was concerned, but now it just seems to be a little bit more faster paced. It means some of the people that like the very fast paced first-person shooters like Call of Duty, Titanfalls, that type of thing, they might be more inclined to play Gears of War a little bit more than they used to, just because the speed is up. There's also a new way to customize your characters, which is kind of fun. So instead of like, well, I don't know if you guys ever felt this, but in Gears of War 4 I felt it was a bit convoluted. It kind of seemed a bit out of the way. I found it very difficult to kind of customize my characters properly and quickly. Now we have these menus. You pick your character, you just press right bump or D-pad or whatever it is, and you just cycle through your things, or you click on it and it brings you up all the outfits you have for that character, which I think is actually really quite cool. It does the same for the weapon skins. Sadly, I didn't get the Nasher for the tech test, which is irritating for somebody who really loves these games, wants to collect everything. But you can see the Lancer one, it just looks pretty badass. But again, that's a pretty good example of how we can change a few things there.
I fear for our planet and our future.
There's also a new reward system. So instead of just leveling up and not really receiving anything or getting gold coins like Gears of War 4 had, and buying those loot boxes and getting, I don't know, your cards. You get your cards. for every other box you have duplicate cards, and you got to waste those to get scrap, and you got to use that scrap to upgrade some other cards, and it's just, oh my god, honestly, that was one of the reasons I really didn't like Gears of War 4. I actually love that game now. I played a lot of it recently, and I really enjoy it, but that was one of the main reasons. The kind of loot box style things, they seem to have gone away from that, but obviously we won't find out until Gears of War 5. What we're looking at right now, though, is kind of more the way the Judgment did things. So back in the day, when Gears of War Judgment came out, you would get so many kills, you get a certain box. You get so many ribbons, you get a better box. You get so many levels, you get a better box. You know, you get different things. You'd get some weapon skins, or you don't get weapon skins in one, or you get character skins in another, and so on and so forth. It kind of seems a similar way to that, except they give you challenges. So you have to kill 250 dudes in, say, Escalation. But then, you know, you could also just get to level 10 and you can get something. So it depends on what you get. So that's how it seems to be you get those rewards. Which, if that's the case, that's amazing. But again, I do worry about loot boxes, because it does have a little thing down there on those rewards bit says iron 0, or you must pay 5 iron to change the reward to get things. So people want to boost their way through the levels, they can do. We have medals that can give those rewards as well. We also have these star systems, which seems to be upgrading us from private to sergeant to admiral to whatever, you know, it doesn't matter. That seems to be another way of leveling as well. Yeah, so it's just kind of interesting to see what they might be doing there. So hopefully it'll work out, and we'll get some old school style of rewards that are actually all on disc, which, let's face it, that's not really going to happen, is it? So I played this game both weekends it was out, and yeah, no, I'm really excited for Gears of War 5. I'm very excited. I always do get excited for it, to be honest. But this time round, I'm just kind of, I really want to see what's new. I really want to see what they've changed. I want to see if they're bringing anything back. I want to see if they're bringing back certain weapons. I want to see if they are ignoring that open world thing that's been going. They've been talking about how it's just a more open world for Gears of War, how it's the biggest campaign they've ever done. Just sounds really amazing. This tech test just kind of really got me in the mood for that. Actually, after this tech test, I am more inclined now to play online multiplayer versus strangers than I have been in the past. Normally, I just play Horde with friends, or go as a team together and do that kind of thing. But it's really rare that would happen. So now I'm more inclined to do that, because there's potential rewards, there's leveling, new different ways to do things. So yeah, I mean, I'm not really going to give this game a grade. It's not really a game. It is, after all, a demo. But if anything's to go by just not multiplayer alone, yeah, it's going to be up there. It's going to be up there as a solid 8. But yeah, I'd say not really giving anything, so we're going to scratch that for now. So that was my look at the Gears of War 5 tech test. I really enjoyed myself, but let us know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Find us on social media. We have a website as well, respawning.co.uk. And if you're feeling really generous, find us on our Patreon page /respawning. My name is Stuart, codenamebigbear. Find me on Xbox. You know, if you want to play a game. See you around, guys. Be nice to each other, yeah?